Scorpio, and welcome to your June 2021 reading. Let's look into your energy today for the sun, moon, and rising signs. If you don't know your sun, moon, and rising sign, you can look in the description box down below for a free site that will take you to what you need. If this reading does not resonate with you, remember that energies can be reversed, means that you can assign the roles any way you like. But stick around because there may be something in the reading that you need to hear. These messages are timeless, and that means that even if you were to listen to this message a year from now or 2 years from now, if God brought you here, it's because there's something in it for you, whether it's today or in the future. If this reading does not resonate with you, it just means that I'm not picking up on your specific energy at the time. If there are cards in here that you want to resonate with you, but they're just not yet, that's okay, because all you have to do is go to the video, What Are They Thinking About You, April 2021, and at the end of that video, it explains on how to raise your vibration in order to match the cards that you're looking at and that you're wanting to bring into your life. Because all of manifestation is in your hands anyway. So if there's things in here that you like, great, use it. If there's things in here that you don't like and it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay too. During this reading, the angels are bringing the Holy Fire Reiki energy to you. And at the end of this video, I will release the trapped emotions for your sign. I will let you know what essential oils and maybe even some crystals that can help maximize your energy. So check out the description box down below for all the details. If you like this reading or you were entertained in some way, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. This way you can get notified as soon as I post something new. So before we get started, what I'm going to do is talk about some major things that are going to be happening in June so that you can understand where we're going before we get into your actual reading. There's a new moon solar eclipse that's going to be happening on June 10th. We're going to talk about that. Also, Mercury Retrograde is going to be for the entire month of June. And then we just got out of a lunar eclipse, which you probably should be still feeling some of the effects from, which was really wild, crazy energy. So if you've been feeling off balance, that's why. I did a video about the lunar eclipse. That will be in the description box down below so that you can get some more information about that. And it's for all signs, so you can watch your sign or all of the signs. Doesn't really matter how you do it. It's going to be a very intense month from mid-May until the end of July. And that's just because of everything that's happening. But this month is very important for people because it's about changes. It's about surprises. It's about making the instability stable again. So eclipses, whether they are lunar or solar, the eclipses are very important because they make things appear, things that you didn't know before. Like for instance, there was a friend of mine who we went over her retirement for her, and she didn't realize how close she was to retirement because she just assumed that this pension was going to take care of her instead of realizing that she could have just taken that money out and put it in a Roth IRA, and then she could build up her own money for herself opposed to giving it to the pension. That when she passes, the pension takes your money. You know, they may take care of you while you're alive, but what happens to your family and that extra money, that extra growth, right? She doesn't get the extra growth. The family would only get whatever she put in, which was very small compared to the growth, right? So that's what I'm saying. Something like that. You can get really big things that make sudden life changes for you, that make you go, you know, I really need to take a look at that again. And that's what's so important about the eclipse season, about the retrogrades. Please don't fear any of this stuff because it's the thing that you go, man, I wish I knew that, because if I would have known that, I would have made a different decision. And it really is it can be a very positive experience for you if you go into the mindset that way. Instead of the mindset of, oh my gosh, changes in my life, I think I'm done. You know what I mean? We don't need to do that, right? Okay. So, very interesting things. We're going to talk a little bit about Mercury Retrograde first before I get into your reading as well, because you need to know some things. Mercury Retrograde is about misunderstandings, miscommunication, restlessness. You might be jumping around to a bunch of ideas. So you may be feeling the effects of the lunar eclipse that we just had, where you might be feeling like you're pulled in a million places, or you just have so many ideas of things that you want to do. When we're in Mercury retrograde, We want to make sure that we don't jump to conclusions. That's really important. We want to make sure that we kind of wait on major decisions. It's not that you can't make major decisions. It's just really a month of planning is better. Because what can happen is if you make major decisions, quick major decisions like, let's get married. You know what I mean? Like you just met a person and you want to get married right away. It could turn into disappointment. You could backtrack a lot in the relationship, lots of redos. And then also we have where there's probably, because of the solar eclipse, there's probably going to be a large correction in the stock market, but it's going to be temporary. So those people who have money in the stock market, the best thing that we always do is we always just stay. Don't freak out. Don't pull your money out and create a panic. Because it's possible there's going to be a correction because of the energy and the planets. And so just be aware of that and take a deep breath, and whatever you do, try not to do major things like pulling all of your money out of the stock market because there was a correction and now you're like, oh, we're going to lose all of our money because of, in our Bitcoin and everything. Just don't do that. Just say, you know what, if I'm going to make any major decisions, it's going to be in the middle of July or the end of July. I'm just not going to do it right now, but I will make the decision. I'm just not going to do it right now. Because finances is a big thing with all of those planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Aquarius, all of those planets. Finances is really big for that. And finance is also really big when we're talking about the Mercury retrograde as well. We could spend too much, or we could plan for our future. So it's really whatever decision you're going to make. New moon solar eclipse is in Gemini on June 10th. That could bring on a correction around that area. But that right after that, though, Mars goes into Leo on June 11th, which is going to give everybody the courage to push forward to their goals. So even though we're going to be in Mercury retrograde, you are going to get this feeling of wanting to push it forward towards your goals. And that's fine. Just make sure that we're not starting a brand new business. It's good to start a business, but make sure we're in the planning stage and that you actually do the launch after the Mercury retrograde, which is July, the middle of July, okay? Now, June 12th, then we have Venus is very powerful, and then you're going to want to feel like going to parties and love and creativity and all of those things. And then June 13th, you're going to get more secrets revealed by the sun, because the sun is going to start shining bright and big in the solar system, so we're all going to get illuminated as well. So it's going to be a very, very powerful month. My job for you is to give you as much information as you can so that you can move through it. Please use the support of your friends. Maybe I'll even post a suicide hotline in case some of you guys need to talk to someone and you don't want to talk to your friends. Because I'm not saying it's going to be that horrible, but it depends on your astrology and what you're going through in life and how many changes you're going to have. And so what I'm saying is the energy won't last forever. So for those of you who are feeling like you can't do this anymore or whatever, that could be a feeling, because whenever the energy is big and we're not understanding it, or we're not linking two and two together, then we could have that feeling. Some things that you want to remember for the Mercury retrograde is that you might be forgetful. It's going to pass. All of this is going to pass. You might have a hard time making up your mind about things. You might change your mind a lot, going back and forth. You might second guess yourself. You might have issues with your cell phone, your computer, your electronic devices. You might need to plan a little bit better for trips, road trips and car trips and plane trips. Just make sure you leave a lot earlier and a lot for more time. Like, don't leave at the last minute, because Mercury rules over communication and travel. So make sure that you are just giving yourself ample amount of time when you're driving. Try to get your car serviced before the retrogrades next time. And if you didn't do it, make sure you do it after the retrograde. Get your car serviced, get your cell phones and things like that repaired and stuff after the retrograde, unless you need it repaired right now. But just be aware that there could be a lot of back and forth with the repairs, and just let it go. Be what it is. Be very fluid through this time. It's not really a good time for making contracts. You can do it. You just have to look at all the details. You can't just go, okay, and sign it like you could at a non-retrograde time, or you have before at other times and everything was worked out. Because you might not have all of the information to make a great deal. So that's why you don't really want to do contracts or promises or something like that during the retrograde. It's just because you may not have all of the information. You might want to buy something and think it's a great deal and then want to sign the contract, but then right after Mercury retrograde it goes on sale. So that's why you kind of want to wait. And so if you can wait, just say, hey, I'd love to do this with you. I think I'm just going to wait until the end of July. And I did that when I bought my house. So I found the house that I wanted during the retrograde. And I almost bought a house during the retrograde, but because I knew this, I was like, I don't know. And then I found out later that the house had a natural spring on it. And even the landscaper was like, I wouldn't have bought that house, which is really good because I ended up not buying that home because it was the retrograde. That's why I didn't buy it. And then I waited till into the shadow period. Then I found a house, and then we didn't actually sign the contract until the retrograde was completely over. So just so that you are aware of that, there are ways of working around it. And I was very clear with my realtor, I'm not buying a home during the retrograde. My realtor probably thought I was crazy because she didn't really know much about it, and I understand. But I know. And if you know, you can just be like, hey, if we can hold off on this, I'd like to. Now, if you've already been making plans for something for a really long time and the event happened in the retrograde, it's supposed to, and that's okay. So I have a lot of people who've been looking for jobs, and they're like, oh, am I not supposed to take a job right now? No, if you've been doing it well before, then yes, you totally can. If this is something that you've been doing for right before the retrograde and then it just popped up. Now, if a job pops up in the retrograde that you had not in your awareness, that could be a good thing because of the solar eclipse, but it might not be a good thing too. So be careful and make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's and check every detail and ask for more information. Don't just assume. Don't assume anything during the retrograde. Make sure you're very clear about your communication. Make sure you know all the details about the job. Make sure that you know everything and see if maybe you can't hold off on actually signing the contract until the shadow period at least. Those are some things to kind of look at. I'll put the link to the dates of the Mercury retrograde in the description box down below as well, so that you can click on that and you can see all of the dates for the Mercury retrograde so you can plan your life accordingly and just in a very good way. Okay, Scorpio, before we get into the actual energy of your cards, I'd like to actually explain what's happening with your sign specifically through the Mercury retrograde. Okay, so first of all, Scorpio, this energy is intense, masterful, thoughtful, and magnetically charming, but also secretive and possessive. So that is your power. This is Mercury retrograde, is how you think, communicate, write, talk, and travel. That's what's going to be important this month. And lastly, the 8th house is what is highlighted for you. And this is transformational area of your life is about to be shared resources and intense emotions. So this transformational area of your life is about to be shared resources and intense emotions. Okay, very good. So that is what's happening in your specific sign. Let's go ahead and talk about some other things. So the 8th house is the areas that are a little bit more mundane matters, like finances, loans, taxes, meetings, business partnerships, financial negotiations. And then also it could be like transformation, which they had just said, but inheritances and profound life changes. It's also really big right now for astrology and psychology. So those are the things that are going to really, really make you, you're going to be interested in this month. It's going to be highlighted for you this month. It's things that your sign particularly is focusing on this month. So let's get started. Also, Scorpio, your oils are vetiver and neroli. We'll talk about those later. At the end of this video, we're going to release hatred out of your liver at the age of 7 and bitterness in your gallbladder at the age of 6. So this is what we're going to do for the meditation releasing of trapped emotions at the end of the video. So let's go ahead and get started. Only accepting the highest and best truth for the Scorpio Collective's highest and best good, bringing forth the most accurate answers. And thank you so much for your donations, for your support, your subscribing, your liking, and all of those wonderful things. I'm really close to getting the 500 subscribers, so I'll be doing that soon. Thank you so much for all of your help. I do appreciate it. Thank you for all of the emails and the texts and everybody telling me how well that these readings are helping them. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, so Scorpio. I'm going to do one more shuffle for Scorpio, and then we're going to go ahead and lay out some cards and see where we're at. All right. Scorpio. Okay, very good energy to start with. Nice. Okay. Oh my goodness, yes, Scorpio. This is beautiful. Very nice. Okay. And the overall energy is the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. No cards upside down today. Just checked. Everything's good. All right. I am going to want to clarify this card though. So let's see what's going on there before I start. This needs to be clarified so that I know what I'm talking about. So it looks like, from what I see, you're coming from definitely a period of time. We'll talk about it in a second. Let me get this shuffled and then I'll talk about it. What is that heartache? Leading something, setting a firm foundation. Okay, we're moving in a good place. All right, just needed to make sure. All right, so this is what's going on. So the overall energy of the entire reading today of the Mercury Retrograde is the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is a very reliable card. It's probably one of my favorite cards. Some people don't like this card because they're like, oh, it's stuck energy. You can look at it that way if you want to. I don't. I actually look at it as a couple of things. It's very dependable. It's super loyal, very protective, lots of security around it. This person is very genuine, lots of planning, and that's great for Scorpio because Scorpio loves that. And this is the planning stage. Mercury retrograde is the planning stage, so that makes sense. You're going to be more at rest during this period. So the air signs, they have, check your chart and see if you have any air sign in you, because if so, they're going to be very benefited during this period. And I'm not saying that you're not, but I do feel like the water signs in general is what I'm feeling. I haven't done them yet, but I am a water sign, and I have 2 water signs in my chart, and I feel this energy very strongly, the same type of energy that I'm feeling for you. And it's like I'm at rest, you know, and I feel like I'm having to redo some things. But this is more of a long-term energy. It's actually very consistent sowing energy. Sometimes people don't like it because they feel like it's slow. But it's okay because it's just for the month of June. So sometimes I like it because it's more of a relaxed way of moving through. Because sometimes when we get some of those months that are really strong moving through energy, it's like we can't even like get our bearings. We can't even get our mind straight. And this is going to make it to where you can actually wrap your mind around things this month, and you can actually know the truth, and you know, all of those things, which is great for the sign of Scorpio because we don't like secrets, right? So you're coming from the devil energy. So there was something in your life that was very toxic. Something in your life that you did not make you feel very comfortable. You did not like it. You were feeling very taken advantage of, is the word that I'm hearing. So that is the past energy. We're moving from that energy to a more stable energy. We're moving to the Queen of Pentacles, which is beautiful energy. It is actually very reliable, same thing. She is very well off. She's very generous. So there you get it again, right? She's very affectionate. She's very wise. She's like, if you want to clean up your home, this is a good time to do it because that's that very motherly, homemaking, caring kind of energy. She's good with her finances, good because finance is big for you this month, right? So we can, when finances is highlighted in our house, we can get a lot of money, but we can actually like use it too or lose it too. So money is very fluid, like your sign, the water sign, it's very fluid. So, but she's in good health. She takes care of herself and she takes care of her money. So even though you might have some financial stressors come up, I really feel like you're going to make good decisions about it because you have the Queen of Pentacles, okay? Also, you're in a really good place. Like this person has their feet on the ground pretty firm, and they're protected by all kinds of wands there, and they have the wand that they're, for lack of a better word, fighting with, right? That they're moving forward with. They have the wand that they've chosen. This is the one that I'm going to use for this issue. So it looks like you have several wands that you can use for many different issues, for many different things that come up for you. You can choose a wand. You're pretty stable. You have good, very good, stable, reliable energy this month, okay? You're wanting your cups to be overflowing. You're wanting the energy of just fluidity. And although we're in more of a stable energy, even though you don't have the fluidity that you're looking for just yet, I do believe that you're going to like the energy because it is a very stable, reliable energy. And you're going to feel like you have 2 feet on the ground. And that's good because Mercury retrograde makes you feel like you're going back and forth, da, 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 da. And I feel like you're going to be pretty stable during this time period, which is really good. You're asking about the cups overflowing, and because whatever this is that left, you're asking, okay, so now can my cups overflow? You know, like you feel like you've been in stuck energy for a long time. It's not the same energy that's in Mercury retrograde, but maybe those same feelings might come up a little bit to make you feel like, did I make the right decision? And second guess yourself, because we do that. We're forgetful. We get like, did I make the right decision? Am I doing the right thing? And so just stay in your stability. Stay in the way that you feel very, very stable. You're moving into the energy of communication, which makes sense because it's Mercury retrograde and we're all going to be communicating. So guess what you're going to want to communicate about? You're going to want to communicate about these things that have been plaguing your heart. You're going to want to explore those because you're going to want to get rid of them. You don't want them to be there anymore. You want them to leave. So you want to take them out. You want to be done with them. So I don't feel like it's going to be like a tower moment where you're going to be crying, but there might be some sensitive conversations that need to be had. And remember, focusing in on positivity is going to be the best thing for you as you do that. You might feel a little defensive through these conversations. This isn't always defensive, but it is. It can be. But it might even be, I'll put it over here. I don't know if you can see that. It might even be maybe you have everything that you need to be on the defensive in a good way. Like you have good defense. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. So if you were in sports, you could say, I have good defense. Like no matter what comes at you or no matter what you want to leave or what conversation you want to have about this, you're going to be in a good place because you have all your ducks in a row. You have all of your information. You are ready to let it go. So it's kind of like, okay, let's do this, right? Because what I have is the conversations that you're going to have are going to bring you the Wheel of Fortune, which means it's going to move you forward into the relationship. It's going to be good communication because we have the little birdies up there. And pretty much the luck is on your side with this card. And then you also have the outcome as being of these communications is going to be the Page of Pentacles, which is very beautiful, probably one of the best, aces. Is probably one of the best aces you can get because it's prosperity, property, happiness, contentment, money comes quick, and receiving gifts of opportunity and money coming quickly. However, the shadow side of that card is that you think that you don't deserve things. So be very careful and keep positive and keep looking on the positive side of things. The people around you are going to be feeling pretty good. They're going to feel like their talents are shining. They're going to feel like they got good money news. They're going to feel auspicious. They may be even getting more job offers around you. Remind them to check details if they're getting job offers, especially if it's one that comes up really quickly. But people are going to feel like they're succeeding around you, which is really good because if you're wanting to have these types of conversations, you want to have them with people who are in good energy so that it doesn't go downhill and turn into toxic energy because you just came from that and you're not really looking to go forward into that, right? So the outcome of the situation is very harmonious, very great relationships, and love. So the outcome of all of this is you are going to get your cups overflowing because this is the answer to the question of can my cups be overflowing? And the answer is yes. You are going to feel more connected in with people. You are going to feel like you have more opportunity for love, where before you might have felt very stifled in your love, like maybe something was blocking it, making it very hard for you to be actually deep in connection with the person that you love and that you want to be with. And I feel like you're going to be able to have that connection because here it is again. You have a good relationship. that's coming towards you with 3 to 6 months. This is the closest outcome. This is the next outcome. So even further on down the line in the outcome situation, you're still going to be in good harmonious relationships. So the answer is yes, your cups are still overflowing. And this is the card of Cancer. For those of you who have Cancers in your life, this doesn't necessarily have to be a Cancer, but it's going to have the energy of a person who has Cancer. And a Cancer person is very loving and supportive and intuitive and all the things that you love. It's a water sign, so you're going to feel very much in your power, in love with this person. So that's very good. This ended up being a love reading, right? Or a relationship of some sort, or a career. Like you could have a good company right here, good company, right? Good job offer. That could be that as well. Same thing. However you want to read the energy is fine. And this is this fast moving energy. So it's like moving in the right direction very fast, very nicely. I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards about what your lover is thinking about you, because I know that you're going to have some serious conversations. So let's make sure that we're moving in the right direction with our love life, and we actually know what this person is talking about. For those of you who are looking at just career, just give me 1 second to pull these cards for people who want love, and we will get right to the crystal and the oils, and then the trapped emotions. You can fast forward if you want to. You don't have to listen to this. All right, so Scorpio, what does your person who you might be having these painful conversations with that are going to go in a good direction, though? It's going to, the outcome is great, so no worries. Okay, interesting. All right. Let's pull this one. What are they thinking about you? Or what are you thinking about them? This could be vice versa, remember. You assign the roles as you please. Okay. All right, this makes sense for sure. All right, this says you are worth fighting for. Okay? I am bleeding, but you cannot see my blood. You are the song of my heart. I knew exactly what I was doing. This could be on a spiritual level as well. So if they had done something to you that was really ugly, it could have been maybe there was a contract that had to be served. I love you unconditionally. And the timing just wasn't right for us. But it doesn't mean that it's not right for us now. Okay, so remember, Mercury Retrograde is redo, recommit, re-love, re-examine, right? It's re-everything. So I have a feeling that you're going to be doing a lot of that re in this energy of the retrograde. Okay, so what are some things that you can use? Well, Neroli is probably going to help you with this relationship and love. For those people who are more concentrated in on career, Neroli is about shared purposes and partnership, but it's also a great oil to have on your bedside table, so that's really cool. But it is really, really awesome for patience, being empathetic, kind, tolerant, calm, intimate, sexual desire, resilient, cooperative, and committed. For those of you who are looking for career, sexual desire, a lot of people use that in their job interviews, right? They use that kind of projection in order to, and I'm not saying like that they're, it's just like there's like an energy of like confidence within your sexual self, that it's not like you're being like really sexual to get a job. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying like in an interview, sometimes people will project their sexuality in a very soft kind of way to maybe attract and get that position. So if a man is really good looking, you might project some of your good lookingness into the panel so that you can, be a top quality candidate. Same thing, if a woman is very good looking, she might use some of that power in order to bring on that energy that makes people want and to desire. And so that's could make you like the top candidate just for the way you, it's not about like, oh, wearing a low cut shirt or something like that. It's actually just the way that you present yourself in the interview that makes people like, they don't know it, but on a subconscious level, like, okay, we need that candidate. And so you can actually use that oil and use that power in order to be the topper candidate. I'm not sure I'm explaining that well, but I'm doing the best that I can. But I can see that why they would want to use that oil if you were looking for career. Otherwise, the rest of you guys know why you would want to use that oil for romance. It's kind of like really self-explanatory. To project your desire-ness onto someone else, to make you more desirable, I guess is the word. All right, vetiver is a really good oil for centering yourself and becoming more rooted into life. It will help you center yourself, be grounded, present, emotionally aware, and connected. If you're having conversations, that's definitely the type of person you want to have conversations with. It will help you if you happen to be apathetic, disconnected, scattered, stressed, ungrounded, avoiding, and in a crisis. I love vetiver oil. It's one of the oils, I consider that to be like a natural sedative, to be honest. It knocks me out. Okay, so those are in the description box down below. There is a link to doTERRA oils. Those are the only oils that I use. You could start out with a kit, which will waive the $35 membership, or you could get the $35 membership to get 25% off of doTERRA and get that shipped to your house. Okay, that's how we do that. So the link will be in the description box down below. Now let's do your crystal, and then after that your trapped emotions, and then I might stop for today. Because these longer readings take more out of me. So if you've had to wait, sorry about that. But the 29th was my son's birthday, and I don't do anything on my children's birthdays. So no work. No work is done. It's all about them on their birthdays. So Scorpio, you are going to use turquoise. Very great and easy to get. So turquoise is for prioritizing your health. So yeah, I could see that as you go through this, you might forget about your health, and then that can cause some problems when we're focusing too much in on our relationship. So those of you who are trying to get more healthy, here you go. Turquoise is your friend. All right, so let's go ahead and release the trapped emotions. So Scorpio, I want you to go ahead and sit back and find a comfortable place. You can sit or you can lay down, but I need you to close your eyes and get into a meditative position. This will only be a couple of minutes. And we are going to be working on releasing hatred out of your liver at the age of 7 and bitterness out of your gallbladder at the age of 6. We have to do them separately. I'm going to invite your angels and spirit guides and your inner child and your higher self to this meditation with us. I want you to sit back and listen to the music and help it relax your body and relax your mind. Take a deep breath. Breathe out. Center yourself through your breath. And breathe out. Archangel Michael, we have some hatred that's been living in our liver since the age of 7 that we'd like to release today with the permission of our higher self. So I want you to imagine your liver. If you don't know where it is, just pretend like you do. Breathe in. Try to get all that hatred out. Scrape it out with your hands. Put it in a big ball. And when we blow it out, our breath, I want you to blow it out to God. Ready, go. And I want you to go back in and see if you can grab some more of that hatred out of your liver. Because that causes liver problems. If you hold on to hatred too much and anger, it's all in your liver. So breathe in. Grab all of that hatred that you had since the age of 7, whether you remember the experience or not. It could be anything that could cause that issue. Breathe out. Give that to God. Anything can cause that issue. It's a 7-year-old we're talking about. They could have hatred. And what happens is those emotions are just so big, we just don't know what to do with them. So our body is so magnificent and holds on to these experiences until we're old enough to release them. So here we go. All right, so we're going to breathe in one more time. Get as much hatred as we can out of that gallbladder. Think about things that are happening in your life right now that make you really mad because it just makes you mad, right? Breathe out. Give that to God. God, can you transmute that into light energy so that nobody has to feel the hatred that Scorpio has been holding on since the age of 7? Thank you, God. Next, we're going to remove the bitterness that's been in your gallbladder since the age of 6. Breathe in, Scorpio. Imagine you know where your gallbladder is, and imagine what it looks like, what it might look like, and grab all of that bitterness and breathe out. Very good. Think about something that's happening in your life right now that makes you really, really bitter. really, really mad. Maybe you're passed up for promotion, or maybe you're passed up for a job, or maybe, you know, somebody took advantage of you, or maybe that toxicity that came into your life was just, you know, was too much, and it made you really bitter. And you're like, I'm not really a bitter person, but man, did that make me bitter. It triggered an old injury since the age of 6 that you've been holding in your gallbladder. Let's get rid of it, because we can get rid of that whole toxic experience. Breathe in. All right, and breathe out. Giving that bitterness back to God that we've been holding on to since the age of 6. Breathe in. And breathe out. Very beautiful, Scorpio. That is wonderful. We're going to breathe in one more time, and we're going to ask that all the hatred and all the bitterness that have been since the age of 6 and 7, everything that we missed, breathe in. Make it a huge ball in your mind, and we're going to breathe out, giving that back to God. And I'm going to ask that the angels and spirit guides who've been providing the Reiki energy through this whole entire reading, that they go ahead and put light force energy into the liver and the gallbladder where those emotions and those old injuries were. And so instead of putting band-aids over it, we're actually going to heal those. So can we do that right now, please? And breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. Thank you so much, God, Archangel Michael, angels and spirit guides, higher self, and inner child. Thank you so much for the experience that we may release all of these emotions that have been wreaking havoc on our life and creating the life experiences that were redundant and over again. And we promise to come back before the conversations that we have with people, so we can release our bitterness and our hatred before we have those conversations, so that we don't become triggered by anything else that might be living inside of our body. We understand that we trap more than one experience of hatred and bitterness, and that we can come back at any time and release these emotions with this meditation and with this video. Thank you so much. All right, Scorpio, thank you for coming to my video. If you like this reading or entertained in some way, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. This way you get notified as soon as I post something new. And I look forward to the next reading, whatever I get inspired to do, whatever God tells me to do for us during the retrograde. You guys have a great day. Bye.